ओम शांति। परम आदरणीय जानकी दादी जी
respected Dadi Janki
के बारे में कुछ वर्णन करने लगे तो बहुत समय चाहिए।
it needs a lot of time to talk about her life
केवल
and to share her stories, but I will only share one or two experiences.
मेरे से पूर्व मेरे लौकिक पिता
Before me, my lockic father
को दादी जानकी जी ने दो एक ऐसी बातें साधारण थी
Dadi talked and shared with two of my lockic fathers a couple of things,
उनको एक बाबा का वारिस के रूप में पहचाना था।
and because of this he recognized Baba as and became a child of Baba.
बस स्टैंड पे
So
मेरे लौकिक पिता और दादी जानकी खड़े थे।
they were both standing on the bus stand in Delhi, and in Delhi we would be traveling by bus.
उन्होंने मेरे पिता ने कुछ पूछा
And my father asked him something about the depth of yoga, and the bus came.
तो दादी ने कहा बस आ गई है। मेरे
So
पिता
that
ने कहा
he
बस
said,
तो
"Oh,
आती
bus
जाती
has
रहती है,
come."
मैं आपसे
My father
पूरी
said,
बात सुनना चाहता हूँ।
"Okay, the buses will come and go. I want to hear from
लेकिन
you."
दादी के मन में ये आया कि देखो ये व्यक्ति जो है
And Dadi then thought,
योग की गहराई में बहुत इंटरेस्ट रखता है
his
और बस में
person
नहीं।
is having a lot of interest in yoga, but not in the buses.
वहाँ पूना में मेरे लौकिक पिता गए थे।
So my father had
तो
gone
भोजन
to
करने लगे,
Pune,
तो भोजन करना शुरू कर
and they
दिया।
started having, they were having a meal, and he started eating, and Dadi said to him,
तुमने भोग लगाया?
and Dadi asked, "Have you," Anandji was the name of his father, and said, Dadi asked him,
वही खिला रहा है
"Have you had,
तो भोग
have
किसे
you,
लगाना?
have you offered bhog?" So my father explained that he's the one who's feeding me, so who am I offering bhog to?
ये डेडिकेटेड है
So,
ये हर वक्त बाबा की याद में रहता है।
so Dadi felt this one is so dedicated, he's always remembering Baba.
दादी जानकी किसी भी जगह
And
जाती
so
थी
then when Dadi used to go anywhere, she would talk about these two things.
पता लगता है कि दादी जी की कितनी गहरी परख बुद्धि थी।
So it's clear that Dadi had this power of discernment.
ऐसा ही होता था।
Even with me,
ये सब जानते हैं
everyone knows
कि अगर उन दिनों में
in those days,
योग के द्वारा सेवा साकाश देना,
so
योग बल का प्रयोग करना,
to use the power of yoga to serve through yoga, the one person who would do that was Dadi Janki, because that was her service to go into various countries, and she's been there.
स्थानों पर कुछ ना कुछ जो भी बात होती है उसको उन्होंने आंसर देना है। तो एक तो कह करके बोल करके उत्तर दिया जाता है।
So one is to give an answer by speaking, but and sharing something, but she used to give answers also by giving the power or sharing the power of yoga. And I want to share two examples of this. So one is in Delhi Pandya Bhavan, there is one room downstairs. It's a visitor's room. But because of Dadi's age, Dadi was staying there once.
जिसमें हमारा ऑफिस चलता था।
And next to it there is a small room that was the office of purity.
उन दिनों ये मोबाइल फोन आदि नहीं होते
At that time there were no mobile phones.
फोन होते थे।
It was only phones of landline.
पटना के अंदर एक बहन को फोन करना था।
I needed to call someone urgently in Patna.
तो लैंडलाइन के फोन का भरोसा नहीं होता था।
And it was never, we knew that at Amritwela the phones would work. Afterwards we weren't sure whether they would work or not. So I went after Amritwela to phone the sister. Across There were brothers and sisters who were doing meditation, and next door Dadi Janki was sleeping.
अमृत वेले जाग ही जाती हैं.
So that she was awake at Amrit Vela. So when I called,
जोर से बोला हेलो,
and I picked up and phone and I said with a loud voice, hello.
व्यक्ति आया, मुझे कहा,
And then somebody came.
जानकी जी आपको बुला रही हैं.
Then somebody knocked on my door and said, Dadi Janki is calling you.
कहेंगी कि अमृत वेले तुम सुबह सुबह इतने जोर से फोन कर रहे
So
हो.
I thought she would say to me at Amrit Vela, why are you calling someone and talking so loudly? So I went to Dadi
मेरे से वही प्रश्न पूछा.
and I went to see Dadi and she asked me, were you the one making the call?
दादी यही कहेगी.
And so I was sure she would tell me off for speaking very loudly, and I will tell her that it's only in the morning that I can get through. Then she came to me and when I got closer she said to me,
ब्रिज मोहन मुझे नहीं पता तुम किसको फोन कर.
I don't know who you were calling, Brij Mohan,
लेकिन मैं ये सोच रही
but
थी
I was thinking
कि जिसको ये फोन कर रहा है ना इसकी बात सफल हो जाए.
that whoever you're calling, let that whatever it is that you need to tell her and whatever it is that needs to be resolved, let it be resolved. So I just wanted to tell you that whoever you were calling, whatever you were talking about, let there be success in that. So you can see the difference in my thinking and in Dadi's thinking. She said that's what I was thinking of.
नेपाल की दो बड़ी बहनें.
So the other example, so two sisters from Nepal, two senior sisters from Nepal had a big accident. The driver of the car left the body just then, at the time, but the two were injured, two sisters were injured quite seriously.
उनका नेपाल में इलाज कराया गया लेकिन
And they were being treated in Nepal, but that was not being successful. So we wanted to call them one by one to Delhi.
बहन एक बेहोश थी.
One was unconscious.
बेहोशी की हालत में हवाई जहाज से दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट में लाके
We brought her unconscious
हॉस्पिटल है वहाँ दाखिल
through
कराना था.
a flight, and as she landed in Delhi, took her to the hospital. We wanted to take her to the hospital, and so for that reason I was at the airport waiting for
लंदन जाना था.
the flight to arrive. And that day, Dadi was also traveling to London, and she had come to the airport. And when she saw me, and I said why I was here,
मेरी फ्लाइट अभी लेट है.
so she said, my flight is delayed, I will come and I will give drishti too.
वो तो बेहोश है.
I said, Dadi, she's unconscious.
स्ट्रेचर पर लाएंगे.
They will bring her on a stretcher.
बेहोश को क्या दृष्टि देंगे?
What drishti will you give to one who is unconscious? But Dadi said, no, I will give drishti.
उनकी फ्लाइट आई.
And so yes,
साथ आए. स्ट्रेचर
her flight came, they brought her on a stretcher, a few came, and Dadi came to the waiting hall. The other sister was completely unconscious, and Dadi gave her drishti, and then she left. Then when we went to the hospital, the doctor said,
इनकी हालत नाजुक है.
she's very,
प्रेयर वगैरह करना है तो कर लो.
her stage is very delicate. If you need to do any prayers, do the prayers.
तो वो दादी जानकी की जो दृष्टि थी उसके कारण से आज भी वो बहन ठीक ठाक होकर
So, but it is Dadi Janki's drishti that that sister is well and is serving even now.
इतनी शक्ति
So you can see so much power, so much love Dadi had.
कि भले शरीर से
No
आत्मा
matter
बेहोश है,
the soul was
तो अंदर है.
in the body and the body was unconscious, but the soul was there.
हम लोगों की ड्यूटी दिल्ली में वीआईपी सेवा की थी.
So in Delhi, our duty was VIP service.
अपॉइंटमेंट ले सकते हैं, मिल सकते हैं, बाबा का सहयोग होता है, बाबा के कार्य हैं, ये सब हम जानते हैं. लेकिन एक चीज बड़ी इम्पोर्टेंट होती है.
But there is one thing in terms of the VIP service is what can we do so that those VIPs can change their mind and the task is successful.
सोच करके कि ये कार्य दादी जानकी जी कर सकती
And
हैं.
we all thought that this is something that Dadi Janki can do, and so we're telling you a secret. So whenever
टॉप वीआईपी को मधुबन लाना,
Whenever we wanted to bring a top VIP to Madhuban in those days,
फैसिलिटी भी नहीं होती थी.
because in those days there were not many facilities, whether it's by plane or helicopter, etc.
ग्राउंड में उतरता था
So they would have to either come by helicopter or by railway, and the railway was quite slow. But top VIPs did come for Baba's task, and what we would do, whether Dadi was in London or wherever she was, we would make an appointment with Dadi, and we would tell Dadi, we will go at this time, and we will call you from there that we have reached there, and then you with your power of yoga give them sakash. I've seen it 3 times, so we find the person, we met the person, myself, Gulzar Dadi, sometimes Jagdish Bhai was there too. We started talking to the VIP, and then the secretary would stand behind and so hoping that the chat finishes quickly. And then when Dadi Janki knew that they were meeting, she was giving them drishti from London, and then the VIP would say to the PA, you go out, and until I say so, don't let anyone in. And then in that peace, we would also ask them to sit for a couple of minutes of silence, of peace, and then in that time, they would be shuffling their feet, be moving around. And then when they sat in silence, and we would sit in silence for 2 minutes, and it would be 4 or 5 minutes, and that VIP would be sitting in silence. And then we used to be like, we need to start talking again. And then when he spoke, it was as if he was completely changed of mind, and he would be agreeing with what we were saying. So it's the power of peace, the experimenting of Sakash. Even though Dadi Janki was not there, but her power, her donation of yoga would transform people's mind. We also know that she has 5 words which are filled within these 5 words. Truth, maturity, patience, humility and sweetness. In these 5 with these 5 words she would share lectures, and they would be filled with dharna. And Om Shanti 3 times. But say Om Shanti. Not only did she say Om Shanti, but she was in that state of Om Shanti. And even now, on the tower it's written, who am I, who do I belong to, and what do I need to do? And she used to tell us, I don't know why Baba has put me here. I don't know why I'm here. Because she was beyond, she had the blessing of being beyond the body. She used sometimes just to say, Baba gave a name, Baba gave everyone a new name, but Baba didn't change my name, but the name Janki, Janak is still in the Gita. So,
किसी चीज को उसके महत्व को देख करके वो कार्य करती थी.
She used to see the greatness of things and do the task accordingly. We used to see her many times, and maybe there were many who had come from across India. Someone wanted a little cooperation of wealth, then she would also help them. Like someone who's traveling away and they put a little bit their cooperation wherever they go. So wherever there is a need, I give. Everyone has 12 hours of time in the day, but she knew how much importance to give which tasks within that time. Sometimes it's a big task that's happening in Delhi. Maybe we're having a program in the Red Fort where hundreds of thousands are coming.
सुबह 6:30 बजे शुरू
It
होना है।
starts at 6:30 in the morning.
अब आप दादी जानकी जी की आयु भी जानते
And you
हैं,
know Dadi
उनकी,
Janki's age.
सेहत भी अप डाउन होती रहती
You
है,
know her health also
लेकिन
goes up and down.
जिस वक्त वो प्रोग्राम है उनको उसका महत्व है
Because
कि
but at the time
फलाना
of the
व्यक्ति भी इसमें
event,
आने
she
वाला है,
knows who's
मेरा
coming.
पहुंचना
She
जरूरी है।
knows it's important
तो
for her
दादी
to be
जानकी
there.
जी ने ऐसे कम से कम 8-10 प्रोग्राम हुए
There will be
होंगे जो
such
बेटाइम
8 or 9
परंतु
programs where
उन्होंने
she has come on
उसमें
time.
पूरी फुल पक्के टाइम पर आके हाजिरी देनी
She
है
knows
और
she
उस
had to
समय
come on
उनके
time.
स्वास्थ्य को कुछ नहीं
And she
होना है।
has sorted
और
her
ये भी हमने
health
देखा है,
out and nothing
उनका
has
जो
to
प्रभाव
happen to
था,
her health during that time.
बोलने से ज्यादा उनके जो आसपास बैठते थे,
So it's
चाहे
not
वो
even
कोई
her
महात्मा
words,
हो,
but the
चाहे
ones
कोई
who were
नेता
sitting
हो,
next to
वो
her,
प्रभाव
whether they were
छाप
great
उनके
souls,
ऊपर
whether
पड़
they were
जाती थी।
politicians, they
एक
would
बार
catch those
भारत
vibrations.
के अंदर एक
Once
संस्था है
there is in
जो
Bharat,
हिंदुओं की संस्था है,
there is an organization,
तो
an
उसके जो
organization
हेड
of
है,
Hindus,
वो ब्रह्मा कुमारी को गिनते ही नहीं थे
and
ये
the
हिंदू।
head of those of
उस
that
भाई का नाम था
organization,
अशोक सिंगल
his name was Ashok
और कोई
Singhal,
विश्व
and
हिंदू
he did
परिषद
not
कुछ
see the
ऐसी वो
Brahma
संस्था थी।
Kumaris as Hindus.
तो एक बारी हमने उनसे किसी स्वामी
Or he
महात्मा
did
ने
not
उनसे
accept
मिलाया,
us.
तो बोले आप तो हिंदू हो नहीं, आपकी संस्था में तो मुसलमान भी आते
So
हैं,
they
ईसाई भी
said, you're
आते
not
हैं,
Hindus.
मांस खाने वाले
Once
भी
when we
आते हैं,
met
आदि आदि।
him, and he said, oh,
इस
in
तरह से उनका स्वभाव था।
your organization you have
हम उनको
Muslims, you
समझाते
have
थे कि
Buddhists,
भाई
you have others,
भारत
Christians
सारे वर्ल्ड
coming
का रूलर रहा है,
in your
सभी धर्मों जातियों के लोग
religion.
अगर हमारे
And I
साथ
used to
नहीं
say,
मिलेंगे
so
तो विश्व के ऊपर हम कैसे राज करेंगे,
So,
उनकी समझ में नहीं आता।
so we used to say that
आखिर
Bharat
जो
is
स्वामी
coming
जी थे त्रिनिदाद
up,
में,
and
वो
as
त्रिनिदाद
Bharat we
की
need to be
हेमलता
the
बहन
masters of
उनकी बहुत
all
सेवा
religions.
करती थी।
So
तो
then
त्रिनिदाद के स्वामी
there
जी
was another Swami who came up, and it's a
इंडिया में
story
आते
that's
थे,
connected,
वो
and I'm
भारत
just
के,
catching what he's
उनके
saying.
संपर्क में वो
Speaking
अशोक
very
सिंगल
fast,
जी
sorry.
थे। तो उनके स्नेह से, उनके प्रभाव से एक बारी उस अशोक सिंगल ने मधुबन आना मान लिया।
So because of this other Swami
आया
and his
तो
Ashok
स्वामी
Singal's
जी
love for
और
this
वो
other
दोनों
Swami,
आए, हमारी यहाँ
Ashok
उषा बहन है,
Singal, who
उससे
didn't
थोड़ी
like the
बातचीत
Brahma
की,
Kumaris,
आखिर उनकी
accepted
जानकी
to
दादी से
come
मुलाकात
to
हुई।
Madhuban. And so he
वो
came to
स्वामी और
Madhuban, the
अशोक
Swami
सिंगल जी
and
जानकी दादी
Ashok
जी के
Singal
पास गए
came to meet
और
Dadi
जानकी
Janki.
दादी जी का जो स्टाइल है अपना बनाने का
Then
और
Dadi's
अपना
style
समझने का,
to
उसने
make
उसकी
them
बाजू
belong to
पकड़ी,
her,
"है मेरे भाई,
she gave him a hug and she said,
उसने
come
जो
and
हाथ
sit
उसका
next to
पकड़ा,
me. And
उसके
Dadi
बाद
held
अशोक
his hand
सिंगल जो है उनका भगत हो गया।
and
वो कहता है कि
he
मैं पहले
became
क्यों नहीं
Dadi's
आया?
Bhagat, and he's thinking,
अब ये
why
सोच,
didn't I come before?
तो ये जो है उनका कि किसी को भी अपना
So this
दिल
is
से
what
कह करके
Dadi
प्रभाव
did.
डालना,
Dadi
वो
made
बहुत
them belong to her,
एक दिल को छूने वाला था।
and it touched people's heart.
मॉर्निंग क्लास में मैं उनके आता था,
I used to come in
तो
the
वो
morning
ऐसे ऐसे
class.
करके कहती थी,
She used to
ब्रिज मोहन
say,
कहाँ है?
where is Brij Mohan?
एक बार नहीं 5-6 बार कहा।
5 or 6 times
तो
she would
मैंने
say,
सोचा
where
कि
is
मैं
Brij
कोई
Mohan?
विशेष आत्मा तो हूँ
I
नहीं,
thought, I'm not a
ये
special
मुझे
soul.
कहती है ब्रिज मोहन कहाँ है?
Why is she
तो
calling and
फिर
saying,
उन्होंने
where is
मुझे
Brij
एक दिन
Mohan?
अपने कमरे में
Then she
बुलाया
called me to her
और
room
बोला,
one day and said,
भाई लोग कहते हैं बड़े बड़े भाई
Bro-
तुम ब्रिज मोहन का नाम क्यों लेती है?
people are saying, why
मैंने कहा,
are
मेरे मन
you
में भी ये
you
प्रश्न
saying,
उठता है।
people are
तो मैं
telling
तो
me,
खास
Dadi was
ध्यान
saying,
रखता
why
हूँ
are you
कि
raising
आपकी
and
क्लास
saying
होनी
Brij
तो मैं
Mohan
जाके
by
पहुंच
his
जाऊं,
name?
नहीं तो
And
पूछेंगे
I'm
ब्रिज
also
मोहन कहाँ है?
thinking, why are you calling
तो
me?
बोलो देखो
So Dadi said,
तुम बड़े भाई हो,
you are
तुम
an
मॉर्निंग
elder
क्लास में
brother,
आते
you
हो,
come to
मुझे
morning
अच्छा
class,
लगता
I
है,
like that,
इसलिए मैं तुम्हारा नाम
and
लेती
this
हूँ।
is why I
लेकिन
say your
अब
name.
मैं दूसरों का भी नाम लिया करूंगी
And,
क्योंकि लोग ऑब्जेक्शन करते हैं।
And now I will
ये
also
दादी
raise
जानकी जी
other
का
people's
द्वार।
name,
अब आप
because
सोच
if
सकते
they're
हैं
objecting that
उनके
why
अंदर
is
क्या
it only
भाव
Brij
है
Mohan Bhai's
कि
name
कोई बड़ा भाई
or
आएगा उसको मैं नाम लूंगी
Brij
तो
Mohan
बाकी
Bhai's
भी बड़े
name
भाई
mentioned
आएंगे।
only.
भाव उनका इतना ही है।
So she was feeling
लेकिन
that Brij
वो
Mohan
जो
Bhai has
बात
come,
है
and if I say
वो
his
एक तरह
name,
से
he's an elder
व्यक्ति के अंदर
brother,
प्राण
then
डाल
if I
देती है।
mention his name,
इस
others
तरह
will
से
also want to come.
अनेक
But
घटनाएं
others were
दादी
feeling,
जी
why
के
is it
साथ
only
होती
him
हैं।
that is being
एक और
mentioned?
सुना देता हूँ,
So one other story.
मेरा टाइम ऊपर हो गया है।
I am
एक
over
और
my
सुना
time,
देता
but I will say one more thing.
होने बाजी हो गया। तो क्या हुआ, लंदन से वापस आना था,
So I needed to return from
तो
London,
मैं भी वहाँ गया हुआ था।
and I
तो
was,
मैंने
oh,
तो
Dadi
अपनी-
needed to return,
मेरी
and
जो
I was
सीट
also
थी
there too.
इकोनॉमी क्लास में पीछे थी,
My seat was in
वहाँ मैंने
economy
अपना
class.
सामान रखा।
I had kept all my
जानकी
stuff
दादी
there.
जी को भी वापस आना था।
And Dadi was also coming back, and Dadi's seat was in business class in the front. When I entered, she said, "Come and sit here." I said, "Dadi, my seat is at the back." She said, "No, you sit here." And then when the hostess came, she tells the hostess, "Let my brother sit here." So the hostess said, "Let me call my senior hostess and you tell him." And he said, the senior hostess says, "It's okay, let him sit. Let him sit, because there is space." So it was like she
सारी सवारियां उतर गईं, वो होस्टेस खड़ी ही रही और दादी जी जब तक उससे नीचे नहीं उतरी और दादी जी ने उसको कहा तू बहुत अच्छी है, बस उसके दिल में इतनी खुशी.
So then at the end of the flight, Dadi waited for everyone to disembark, and then she got up and she put her hand on the cheek of the hostess and said, "You're so good, you're so good," and she was so happy.
सारे ब्राह्मण परिवार की रोज अनेक समस्याएं आती हैं,
so many situations and things come in the Brahmin family, but Dadi is the one who resolved them.
तो उनको दुनिया का पता भी नहीं, तो इसलिए इस प्रकार का जो उनका इस प्रकार का
संग्रह है,
उससे व्यक्ति उनकी गदगद हो जाता है और
and she makes them belong to her, and we all feel this good feeling and light within. So many others will also relate their stories, so what's come in my mind, I've shared that.